Good morning, church. Bob Myers here as we continue our study in the minor prophets in the book of Hosea, chapter 4 today. And I've said this before in other books, but this is as relevant as today's newspaper, even more so. A couple of things first before we get started on today's lesson in chapter 4. The overarching theme, message of Hosea is God is forever committed, married to the backslider. His heart is with the backslider. His heart grieves when we backslide, but his heart is with us. His heart is with the backslider. And that's the overarching message of Hosea. And another message in Hosea that we can readily draw from it is God is not hesitant to cause someone a little discomfort in order to get his message out. A little personal discomfort is not a hindrance to God getting his message out. I imagine when Hosea was growing up, he did not dream of marrying someone who would then, shortly after the honeymoon, run off and live with another man. That wasn't his dream. But God put him in that situation in order to get his message out. So sometimes we have inconveniences in our lives and things that we chafe against, but God can use those to get his message across to people that he loves. Someone said, without a mess, your message doesn't have as much impact. So let God take our messes, some of which we've created, and make his message and get his message out. Hosea's life, if you just look at it, was a mess, but it was a powerful, powerful message from God Almighty. So let's look at chapter 4. I'll read this, and it'll read like it's reading the newspaper. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Why? Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By lying and swearing and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish. Boy, does that sound like the United States of America 2021. It kind of does, doesn't it? Verse 7, as they were increased, so they sinned against me. The more they grew and prospered, the more they left God. And God has a stern word against his people. And he says in verse 6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Proverbs 2:5 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. They had no understanding of the holiness of God, and they profaned his holiness and lived in abject immorality. And God has some serious words for them in chapter 4. It'll get better, but right now, God has a serious word because they have forsaken God. They have forsaken their lover. But he is still committed to them. God is forever committed to the backslider. Be blessed as you read Hosea chapter 4 today.